So, hello and welcome everyone. And since this is the first overseas race, you don't see me driving there in my car. And since the race takes place on the Zhejiang Circuit in China, which is not in the most sort of common area of China, the easiest way to fly there is actually not via Düsseldorf, but via Frankfurt from where I live. So I'm sitting in the ICE high-speed train to Frankfurt, and then we'll fly on from there. And so we have to do the preview here. And it's actually quite easy if we look at the standings. So halfway through, I think the top six are probably still in contention for the top spot. I'm in second, so reasonably comfortable, but I can't afford to let go, of course, because you've seen how easy it is if someone gets 25 or 80 points even, and you're somewhere stuck further down low. So yeah, let's see how this race goes. The track is a bit on the Swedish side, you could say. So again, pretty tight and twisty. Some experience then from the Swedish ROG TT Cup should come in handy then, even though the car is different. And I'm quite hopeful and also quite excited to see a part of China that I probably wouldn't see otherwise. Until then, see you on track. So now we are on track during qualifying. So first one sort of guided lap, since this is probably one of the more unknown circuits. So decently long start-finish straight. Then a tight left-hander. Don't hit the sausage curbs, that makes it slow down. Into a right-hander, into a left-hander uphill. This one is long and you struggle for traction here. Then a reasonably fast right-hander. Right into a left-hander again. This next right-hander tightens slightly.
Alright Andy, you've got 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
And then we have the shortcut, because this is just a short version of a longer track. Important to be early on the gas, so not like this. Then a short straight, and then a reasonably fast final left-hander, and that's the lap. And as you can see from times, I sort of struggled throughout the entire qualifying session to get a decent time. So this is 3 minutes left, and I'm just 18. So I'm trying again. This one is better now than in the lap before. This is decent, although the car ahead gets slightly away from me, so could probably have again a better exit there. Overall, the flow isn't really that much fun. It's just right, left, and yeah, there are attempts at uphill, downhill, but it's not as much fun as the Swedish tracks. This is just basically turning from one side to the other.
Sector 2 is 0.45 off the pace.
So at least a little bit quicker in the second sector. Let's see how the last sector turns out. Here it's also pretty difficult to get the power down.
P17, that's your best lap in this session. That puts
so
you
only 17, and even that effort.
Sector 1 time's okay. Sector 2 is 0.45 off the pace. Sector 3 time is quick. Your last lap time was at 51.61.
Was all
just
for
2
naught.
minutes left, 2 minutes to go.
Because there was a technical infringement, so I'm actually going to start from the back of the grid. Yeah, not really what I sort of planned to have here. So let's see what we can salvage for the overall championship. And I wasn't too hopeful. So our practice times were pretty decent, but I really struggled during qualifying, and I have no idea at this point what was actually my real pace, what I had during practice or qualifying. So the start was decent.
Left side. Still there. Clear left.
But I also knew from countless sim racing what will happen in the first corner if you start at the back, so I didn't take any chances. Everyone was reasonably well behaved nonetheless, so that was good. Yeah, and then let's see what we can do.
Lamberts is now in the lead.
At least that's a name I haven't heard so far much in the overall championship, so that was a bit of a relief. was another tricky point in the first lap, this shortcut here, but again nothing really happens, luckily. Can I make some headway? With all these, everyone very close together, you heard the distance in qualifying to
right
lead.
side.
But yeah, they so at least they
Hold your line.
struggled on the exit.
Hold your line. You're on the left, 3 wide.
Maybe a bit
Middle,
optimistic
3 wide.
here,
Clear
but I
around.
only wanted to defend anyway.
On your right. Hold your line. Still there.
And even here fighting
Hold your
tooth and
line.
nail for last place, or second
Clear
to last
right.
rather. So let's try this again. They seem to struggle a bit in some corners with the
left.
rear grip, so the overall track is pretty slippery.
Still there.
And there were,
Clear
at least
left.
I had several issues with tire temperature, because there is basically no straight where the tire can cool down.
53.17. All right.
Left side.
Again, they struggled in the
Hold
last
your line.
corner. Thorson, name that I know
Hold
reasonably
your
well.
line. Clear left.
80.
Car left. Clear left. Left side.
So I guess I was at the
Still
receiving
there.
end of the daily form in
Hold your line.
these one-leg races, where it would have
Still
been
there.
at the back, or at least close
Clear
to the
left.
back
Car
anyway,
left.
if it weren't for the infringement.
Hold your line.
And even
Clear
here,
left.
the
You've
water
got
was
cold
given,
brakes all round. Be careful.
so nothing came off the overtaking maneuver with Thorson, so I have to try again.
Right
And
side.
yeah, barging
Clear
through.
right.
Maybe a bit overly aggressive, but the stewards haven't seen it, so I got scot-free for
That's
that.
the new fastest lap for Lamberts. 53.12. We'll be warned about track limits.
So 18th.
On your right. Still there. Clear right.
You can't really overtake into the first corner, that's a bit of a pity. It's too tight and too narrow for that. Also goes slightly downhill, and this sausage curve is in the way.
The right front tyre's getting hot.
So I have to find other openings. And as you can see, hardly any time to breathe
Okay, Andy, don't let this guy distract you.
between turning left and turning right. So I can only hope, yeah, that they have
Car right.
issues coming out of the left corner and then get the momentum
Hold
and
your
be
line.
ahead at the braking point for
Hold your
first
line.
corner, which is
Clear
later
right.
than you might think, but not too late.
Car right. Clear right.
It is very,
Awesome. Well done.
very tricky to get right,
Yellow flag.
and thank
Clear
you.
left. Clear all round.
Incident clear. Green flag.
So 16th. So slowly making my way up. At least there was some kind of progress here. Here's this shortcut. You can't really be on the inside here either.
Your rear brakes are cold, mate. New fastest lap for the Ordbach, 52.36. 16th place. That was a 52.79.
On your right. Still there. Clear right.
So-
Sweet pass, mate.
I take it back. You can overtake into the first corner, but then yeah, they have to be a little
Alright,
bit asleep
Andy,
at the
the next
wheel,
car is
and you
Richardson.
have to hit the corner perfectly.
15 minutes remaining. 15 minutes to go.
So now we have a little bit of open space ahead. I'm curious with what effect this has on the lap time, or in other words, how much everyone else is standing in everyone else's way, like this,
Your right side tyres are getting hot.
or like this.
Right side.
Yeah, not sure why
Clear
Ostman was so early on the brakes, but yeah, I'll happily say thank you.
14th. Your lap time was 52.51. Good lap. That's your quickest so far. New fastest lap for Dumont, 52.00. guy in front is Bartle.
A name I hadn't heard before. So there must have been someone who was always somewhere else where I wasn't.
Just ignore him, he'll go away.
At this point I just had my eyes in front and I had no idea what was happening behind.
Okay, Andy, watch the track limits, please.
At this point,
Alright.
I seriously wonder why they always brake so
Still
early
there.
for the last corner that I had to go evasive and
You're in the
over
middle.
the grass.
Clear
But
left.
at least it
On your
makes
right.
things easy.
Clear all round.
Again, I didn't want to overtake him just to defend against Partle.
On your left. Clear left.
You settle in a sort of rhythm here over time with these corners, but fun is something else, at least in my opinion.
Your front tyres are looking a little hot.
And I wasn't trying to manage tyre wear. Normally the tyres were getting too hot even quicker, so
The guy ahead has just done a 52.00 P13.
being stuck in traffic probably helped with
On your
tyre wear
left. Clear left.
and tyre temperatures, and tyre loads. Here I lost a bit of
Car
momentum.
right. Clear right.
But it's difficult to find the full traction if the tyres start to overheat, and I had overheating issues both in the front and in the rear.
Volcade is leading the race.
That's the name I did want to hear, since he
Okay,
was
Andy,
also very much at the
gaining on
front
this
of the
car.
last
The
race.
gap is 0.39. That lap was a 52.80.
So it still feels I'm making progress on the guys ahead if I can get a decent lap together, and here I think tyre wear and tyre
Watch your right rear
temperatures.
temperature. It's getting hot. You're cooking your right front tyre.
Yeah, that's the confirmation. Tyres were starting to be a problem, but that was everyone else's problem as well. So it's just a matter who can get the most out of them.
Right side.
Oh,
Yellow flag.
sorry.
Clear right. On your right. Clear right.
So it wasn't intentional,
Left
but
side.
it got me my warning
Green flag,
again from
all
the
clear.
stewards, so now I have
Hold
to
your
be
line.
a bit more careful.
Clear left.
At least I didn't lose a place.
P12.
Let's see what this does to my lap time if I have some space ahead.
Use all the track. Force them to find the gap.
And I already made good
The guy in
visual
front is
progress.
Stimmers.
And that's another name I was familiar with, and I'm getting much better exit.
The gap.
Right side. Still there. Hold your line. Hold your line. Clear right.
Okay, Andy. Halfway home. Fuel's good. Fastest lap. 10 minutes remaining. 10
Fastest
minutes.
lap.
You've just done a 51.79.
Right side.
That was my disallowed
Hold your
qualifying
line.
time.
Clear right.
So that makes all the difference if you're not stuck in traffic.
Your left front's hot. You're cooking your right front tyre.
Another issue by Richardson ahead. Can I make anything of it? No. Just gaining a little bit, and now has a good exit into the last
E11, the gap to Richardson in front is now 0.30. You're a tenth off in sector 1, sector 2.
Car right. Clear right.
Was knocking on the points by the halfway
Car
mark,
right.
and that's a thank you.
Yellow flag.
Clear right.
Someone was stuck on the
Clear of
outside, and then
incident,
Richardson
green
gets
flag.
scooped. So I'm now in the points and got 2 places for free. I started getting hopeful. How far ahead can I make it from last place on a track that's not really brimming with overtaking maneuvers? And also suddenly the car liveries ahead looked way more familiar, so it was in good territory. Another good exit. On my end.
You've just done a 52.19.
On your right. Still there.
Yeah. I saw
Hold
Fisher
your
a
line,
dummy in the
clear
last
right.
race, in the last lap. This time it didn't work, at least not on the first attempt.
Watch your right rear temperature, it's getting hot. Your right front tyre is cooking.
The high ambient temperature in July in China didn't certainly help my tires either. It wasn't
Alright, Andy,
terrible,
you've used half your fuel.
but you could feel that it was starting like to drive on soap instead of normal tarmac.
The car in front has just posted a 52.00. Your last lap time was a 52.36.
Yeah, so despite the reasonably clean lap, this wasn't as easy as it was for the previous places. So I had to step up my game a little bit, and also hope that they get tangled in their duel. Yeah, you see the exit traction is an issue. And yeah, so Fisher gets spooked by the guys in front,
On
and
your
that's
right.
a clear thank you on my end.
Still there. Clear right.
That's the fastest lap of the race. Fastest lap for Kamina, 51.59. That lap time was 51.76.
Yeah, so 51.7 again, and someone else did a 51.5. So my pace during free practice wasn't a fluke, and just everyone seemed to have a much better time during qualifying that I had. Not that it made a difference due to the being relegated to the back of the grid. And this was a very familiar livery ahead. Fjord back, the current championship
Your left
leader.
front tyre is running hot. Your right front's really hot.
And looks like everyone is now sliding around on their well-cooked tires.
Right side.
And I can say thank you again
Hold
to
your line.
Fjord back. So at least
Still there. Clear
he's
right.
not gaining on me in the
E7.
championship.
Well done, Andy. Great move. Keep it up.
One more familiar livery ahead. Di Martino. So with Fjord back behind, I started to be a bit cautious since I didn't want to lose that place. If I can gain on Fjord back, then everything is fine in the championship, at least everything that I can control. But
Right side.
then you get opportunities like
Hold
this,
your line.
which is more of an evasive
Still
maneuver
there.
than a dive bomb.
Clear right.
That's 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes. Well done. Nice front now.
So up to 6.
E6. That was a 52.56.
Right side.
Yeah,
Clear
no,
right.
I'm
On
getting
your
the
right.
pressure from
Clear
Di
right.
Martino. He certainly knows how to drive. And you see the other cars ahead sliding out of the corners, so everyone's tires were probably at the boiling point. I'd say already well done.
That last lap was a 52.36.
So I wanted just wanted to make myself known.
Car right. Clear
And
right.
have the opportunity to take the proper line if they have to brake early due to fighting, and that was sensible. Otherwise I would have probably hit them.
We really need to be in front of this car.
I didn't need to, since I had overtaken the championship leader, but yeah, with a familiar name and livery ahead for Kate, and the unique...
Okay, Andy, hold your nerve, just keep it smooth, no mistakes.
Grey and yellow car, and okay,
Car
yep,
right.
again, thank you.
Hold your line.
Exiting that corner, can I?
Hold your line.
Yes.
Clear right.
So fifth.
This is brilliant, keep it up. E5, the gap to Lambert's ahead is now 1.0.
So for Kate, I think had won or was second in the previous race, and is now leading again. So now I knew, okay, that's another danger for the championship position. So being up here is good, and any place I can gain is excellent. But again, no risk, and there is one more race to go anyway. So it's more of a balancing act now. At least I wasn't under immediate pressure anymore, so that was a little bit helpful. So I could really have my focus in front, which I needed
right.
if they are doing stuff like that.
Clear right.
P4.
And I have to admit, I actually was running a little bit of traction control because I foresaw that based on what happened during practice, and they apparently weren't, and now
That's 2 minutes
paying the
left,
price.
2 minutes.
But they have to step off the gas when they are sliding on the exit on their well-cooked rear tires. So in fourth, and 3 guys ahead fighting, is something more possible. And again, helpful that no one behind gives me immediate pressure. So again, they didn't have the best exit.
Sector 1 is 0.45 off the pace.
But that was then me being cautious. That was a bit early on the brakes, and that was intentional. And probably wise, given that Bonk was trying to be on the inside of Wickman as well.
Front tyres are hot, front are hot.
Rear tyre squealing for grip. And no, that's not gonna work.
Okay, Andy, 5 minutes of fuel remaining, 5 minutes. Last lap, sector 1 is 1.1 seconds off the pace.
So no obvious overtaking spots again. And they're pretty far away. This can change corner by corner, but that wasn't the best way to take that left-hander.
Sector 1 is green.
And now they are fighting side by side. So we're a bit far away to probably benefit from that one way or another. And they both seek to get a decent exit as well.
P4, and there's the finish. Good result, mate, well done.
And at this point,
Right side.
I emerged
Clear right.
sort of from a tunnel that only consisted of a track and the car directly ahead of me. So I had no idea how much time has passed, and so I was awoken from a trance with the spotter saying this is the finish. And if we look at the final standings, so yeah, fourth place and the best laps of the top three, and even the top 8 or 9 are slower than mine, and you only find some faster laps way behind. So again, the usual effect of people fighting at the front, losing time. I'm now second in the overall standings, but we take a closer look at that during the review. So hello and welcome back. So the train, now back from Frankfurt Airport, has now slowed, so I suspect we're getting close to Duisburg, and I think it's now time for the customary review. Yeah, certainly a very eventful a race weekend in China with a big setback at the start. So qualifying, that I lost my qualifying time and had to start from the back, but then a very hard but also lucky recovery drive back to fourth. So yeah, if we look at the results, this could have been much worse, and especially guys like Fjordback didn't have the best race either. So I can be reasonably happy with that. And in terms of the overall standings, so I think we have now 3 people with good chances of winning the overall championship. So for Kate, Fjordback and myself, but then down to 8th, everything can still happen, not only mathematically, but we've also seen how quickly the turn of form can then change the whole game. And yeah, so everything is still so possible in the final race, and everything can happen. And if we go by this week, then everything will happen. I'm also happy to announce that my rideshare companion for my trip to the final race has received the confirmation email, so I'm very much looking forward to that for the final race in Clermont-Ferrand. And until then, see you on track.